Good morning and welcome to What's New with Mike and Jeff, your Saturday morning hobby hangout coming to you live via the interwebs. I'm your host, Mike, and with me is the man that could probably recite the lines from Fantastic Four because he's probably seen it 150 times by now, Jeff.
Close.
So, when we left, we've been gone for 2 weeks.
Right.
Jeff was celebrating his birthday and had Historicon. We're going to touch base on all that. But the big thing that was on everybody's mind, well, mine, you were going to go see, good morning, Don. You were going to go see the Fantastic Four.
I did.
And you are just a fan of the franchise? Is it safe
to say? Fantastic Four was my book of choice.
Okay.
Comic book of choice as I was reading comics as a kid.
Okay.
The book started with, of course, a couple years before I was born, but I had pretty much back in probably the late 60s to early 80s. Was a huge fan, still am, but okay. I stopped reading. My comic thing went into remission about 1983, 84.
You recovered?
Yeah. But yeah, the Fantastic Four has always been my favorite title, and Ben Grimm, the Thing, has always been my number one favorite superhero on the planet.
Well, because you have a award-winning Thing.
I do.
Real quick. Good morning, Tim. Good morning, Joe. So how did they do? What is
they did great?
Okay.
I got zero complaints. Okay. The story went really, really well. They didn't waste a lot of your time by rehashing their origin. They did that in a really, really quick and easy and fun way. They set it in an alternate world in the multiverse, which explains why they haven't been around in the actual official MCU so far. They did Galactus beautifully. The only thing that I found, I don't even want to say disappointing. I wish it was longer. I wish there'd have been a little bit more to it.
Well, doesn't that set it up for like sequels?
Yeah, it does. I love how they wrote Sue Storm. Because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. Yeah. They wrote Sue Storm well. Ben Grimm was perfect.
Okay.
Because they really featured the reason I am a fan of Ben Grimm.
Okay.
When I was a kid, I identified a lot with him because he was he's a big brutish superhero. I mean, he's a gigantic bunch of orange rocks that walks around basically. But he's very, he's got some insecurities and some doubts and some sorrow that he carries around him, but it's not like he's depressed all the time. He's just got this other side of him that he very, very rarely shows. And they captured that perfectly. It was just great. Like I said, I really have zero complaints about the movie. I thought they did it really, really well.
If we were to compare it to the Roger Corman version of Fantastic Four, and who put this one out? Sony, Marvel?
This was actually put out by Disney, Marvel, Disney, yeah.
And the new Disney Marvel version, where would you lean?
Basically, this new film is my favorite Fantastic Four film. Roger Corman would be number 2.
Okay.
Because even though it was a Roger Corman film with a low budget, they really did a decent job with what they had.
Right? I know you like the Roger Corman version. That's why.
And all the Roger Corman, the actors from that Roger Corman film had cameos.
Really?
In this film. They're very small. You got to look for them.
Well, you have to know.
I didn't notice it my first time through. I found out after I saw it the first time. Basically, they talked about it on a YouTube video that I watched. So when I went back the second time, I kept an eye out for them.
Well, and you'd have to actually know who the actors are because Roger Corman didn't use A-list actors.
And that movie was done decades ago. The Jessica Alba films are 3 and 4, respectively. And I don't count the other one. And the good news for me was in their first 3 days, the new Fantastic Four did more money than the Fantastic Four film I completely discounted. Yeah, which would be the 5th one.
Now, has it been a box office success
It's
for?
been successful. It's been pretty strong. I don't think it toppled Superman, but I haven't seen Superman yet. But
Well,
I
Superman's a little bit more iconic in the movie theaters.
absolutely.
So,
And Marvel's had a couple of hiccups. But as far as me personally as a fan, it's my favorite film.
Joe is mentioning something about Natasha Lyonne didn't play Alicia. I don't.
Yeah, Alicia is Ben Grimm's long-running girlfriend.
Okay.
And I understand why they didn't. I put it in my own head, but again, I don't want to spoil anything.
Okay. No spoilers. I just wanted to know that it was everything you were hoping it was going to be, because this was like your hype. This was like
it was my birthday weekend. It was perfect release date.
Yeah.
I've only seen it twice so far. I'm thinking about going back again this weekend. I may go see a matinee tomorrow, just because. And I may go see it I didn't see it in IMAX. I may go see it in IMAX.
You got to see it in IMAX.
Yeah. So, but
the visual appeal, the audio appeal.
Yeah, the whole works. Yeah. But it was done really well. Comedy was great. The rapport between Johnny Storm and Ben was absolutely there. And it had exactly what it should have. It had a very family feel. So.
Yeah, because like all I know about it's the commercials, and there's something about a baby, and I'm sure there's people after the baby and all that kind of stuff. But it felt kind of more of a family, like just watching the little previews, it felt like it was a more family-centric movie. Joe's saying that it's close to Superman in the box office.
Yeah. I'm going to wait and see Superman when it comes out on streaming, because I thought about going tomorrow to see Superman. I just want to see Fantastic Four.
Awesome. Well, that is great news.
No, I was in no way, shape, or form disappointed. I mean, as a Fantastic Four fan, I literally, and I think one of the best parts was, my first time there was the first showing on Friday morning.
Okay.
And a daycare center or a summer school or something, a bunch of early preteen and early teens came in with what I'm assuming is teachers, or daycare providers, and they took up one entire row in the cinema. And I'm all the way in the back in the center. They're like midway towards the front. And at first I'm kind of like, well, this is going to be great.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It
captured their attention, and they kept
they cheered, they applauded. Because it was pretty empty other than that. It was me and there's maybe 15 more people in the cinema counting that entire row. So it was pretty empty, but they actually made it a lot more fun because they were getting the jokes. They were getting the moments that you should have gotten, the sad moments, the happy moments, and they were cheering and applauding. And at the end, they all stood up and were applauding and yay, this is great. It was just fantastic for me.
Very cool. Joe's saying, "Don't wait." I believe he might be talking about Superman.
Yeah, I know. I've heard good things about it. I've never been a fan of crypto. That kind of put me off. But like I said, I do. Peter Gunn I'm a fan. So I may go, but tomorrow I think it's going to be fantastic for if I go at all. So yeah.
Good morning, Mark. How are you, buddy?
Hey, good morning, Mark. How you doing, buddy?
Well, that is exciting news. I am glad that it was everything you thought it was going to be. Did they have souvenir cups and all the fun stuff?
They did.
And I'm assuming you bought some of that?
No, I did not. The one I wanted, they have a gigantic popcorn bowl or bucket in the shape of Galactus's head. Right? That's the one I wanted. And it was $80.
Oh, that's expensive.
Yeah. And then the other thing that made me not go crazy was I just wanted to get a drink, and I like blue raspberry ices.
Okay.
A small blue raspberry icy was $8.49.
Ouch.
So I got that, and then I went back the next day, which I have some pictures of with my daughter and son-in-law. We didn't even get concessions because it was insane.
Yeah. Well, the
price was just crazy.
That's one of their main ways of making revenue.
Yeah, they don't make anything on ticket sales, but so they make their money by selling you snacks.
Yeah, it's like any kind of concert or sporting event. Like that's one of their main sources.
It's crazy. So
And then you went to Historic Con.
I did.
And you got, well, waiting for my coffee to finish brewing, so no, snarky emoji. All righty. Well, you get your coffee.
Historicon was great.
Yeah.
Hung out. Didn't get a lot of pictures because most of my time, because I went up to do two things. I sold a bunch of stuff I don't need. When I first got to Battlefront, I've always had this dream. I love the Battlefield in the Box range. Which is this pre-painted, really nice terrain at a really good cost.
Yeah.
So I bought a bunch of it. And I'm looking around going, you know something, I've got all this terrain, all this stuff that my apartment's not big enough to put in a 4x8 table or even a 4x6. A 4x4 would take up most of my apartment.
Right.
I'm never going to use this terrain. Why did I buy it? So I took it to StoreCon and sold it.
There you go.
Because I have a flea market called Wally's Basement. Because it used to be in the old host, it was in the basement of the host. Now they don't have a basement, they're in a different location. But buddy of mine, Nigel from GW Days, he always goes up and sells a bunch of stuff at Wally's. So he offered me some table space. So I took it up and we sold it. I made a nice chunk of change.
Because that stuff's very desirable.
Huh?
That stuff's very desirable.
It's very nice stuff. I had a place where I could set up a table. I would absolutely still have it, but I don't have that place.
Yeah.
So I got rid of it all and made some money so I could get on top of my bill situation. Got to hang out with Dave Taylor and some people that I haven't seen in a while. And Brian Delaney is another gentleman at the painting competition.
Okay.
War Games Illustrated hosts a painting comp there that Dave actually judges and runs. Him and Brian Delaney. I just went to help out. You know, I didn't do any judging or anything like that because that's well out of my skill set for that level of painting. There's a lot of great painters that go to that place. They're really good stuff. But I basically help them fill out paperwork, put them in the display, and kind of then wait for them to come back and get us. So I had a good time doing that. Got an item I want to talk about in the show a little later.
We're going to do a preview of an item.
Yeah, we're going to review an item that's kind of cool. Got to play the new Conflict 47,
and
which is fantastic.
Yeah.
They've changed it. They've changed it a bit. First of all, the new set's going to be all plastic.
Okay.
Which I think is great. But they added a thing called Rift dice. You remember when they do the nuclear testing, they open these rifts. And transmissions are coming back and forth, and they're getting this new technology. Well, now you have, along with your regular dice, because it works very similar to it's 2 bolt action.
Okay.
But you have Rift dice. And you also roll your Rift dice when you're using Rift equipment. And they can cause your Rift item to fail.
Ooh.
Or they can add multipliers. So you can, I think you can actually have some of your weapons that will fire at a ×6 power.
Holy crap!
Yeah, it could suffer a burnout when it does that, and that's just a broad stroke of what the Rift dice do. But it's actually a new edge, a new mechanic in the game that I think is perfect. The plastic stuff looks phenomenal. It's a lot of fun, and it runs just like I'm. That's one of the games I've been fighting. Everybody's trying to talk me into jumping back into Horus Heresy,
right?
Or what is that other one? Trench Crusades, which both look fantastic. And I'm not doing it because I don't like the games. They look great, but I have enough on my plate right now. But when Conflict comes out, I'm probably going to pick that up.
I'm looking forward to it. I want to get the rule book. And I want to see a little bit more about the army construction. So far, from what I'm seeing on their website, they're selling mostly I'm just going to call it weird war stuff in the army boxes. Well, good morning, David. Good morning, Matthew.
How you doing, buddy?
So they're selling more of the weird stuff, and from what I'm understanding so far, that's pretty much how you're building your armies. It's going to be more of a weird World War II, which will be kind of cool, but I'm kind of curious, can you still put in regular troops? Or
you can actually.
Oh, okay.
and there's a mechanic for it that kind of makes it kind of cool. So let's say in your bolt action, you've got an elite unit that's veteran, and because they get ranked, veteran and their experience level. When that unit is brought into a rift, a conflict game, he's a rookie.
Really? So they're downgrading the...
Yeah, because he's dealing with things that unit's dealing with things it normally doesn't deal with.
And in theory, that makes more sense, because
Yes.
it was always kind of weird that here I got this, regular trooper with a M1 carbine or a M1 Grand, and he's taking out a werewolf.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's, I mean, that was some broad strokes of it,
Okay.
because my memory's Swiss cheese anyway. But yeah, there's their mechanic where when you bring units from bolt action that are elites or veterans or the top troops, they're not that in conflict.
All right.
Because you're dealing with strange things.
I'm looking forward to it. It seems like a pretty solid game, and I like that weird World War II stuff. Dust is one of those games that's always captured my attention. I've always liked Dust. I just didn't like, the company and the way it changed and shifted and went to different places and all the crazy stuff that happened with the company itself and the grid pattern gameplay. It's just... There was some weirdness to Dust, but it'll be kind of cool to see if they jump it up. What's Matthew saying here?
Waiting to see what the Italians will look like. And he says, imagine they'll mostly be the same. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see those. I first got interested. It kind of raised my eyebrow when I read the design team they brought in for Conflict. Because there's some really named game designers, Andy Chambers, those kind of guys are the design team. And that impressed me. And everything I've seen about the game, none of that seems to have been wasted.
Now, are they using the 3rd edition rules from Bolt Action with the templates and all this stuff?
I didn't ask that specific question. There are templates, there are stuff like that, so I'm assuming they did. And I haven't played Bolt Action so long, I couldn't tell you the difference between it.
Okay.
But it played really well.
David's saying he's intrigued, but his hobby budget is over the fire.
Well, as you just heard me say, everybody's going, hey, Jeff, get into Heresy. Hey, Jeff, get into Trench Crusade. My budget doesn't allow it, but I will find a way to make room for Conflict. At least get the core set.
Well, and for you and I, because we used to play Conflict
all the time.
A lot of the weird units are still in Conflict.
Yeah.
Like they didn't... the Shermans with the super cool turret weapons on them and all that kind of stuff. I still have my creepy crawly Russian, because I did Russians and Americans.
Right.
I've got my creepy crawly. You still have all of your US.
Actually, I sold most of mine.
Oh. Yeah. Well, you can rebuy it.
Yeah. But I'm fine with that because the only thing I regret parting with was the scratch built jump troops that I made.
Oh yeah, because you put the old GW
single jetpack on jetpack on the back. Yeah, I made a bunch of those. But I have zero problem picking up the new stuff because the new stuff looks fantastic. I didn't see a whole lot of it, but the stuff in the first set looks quality.
And the old stuff was metal and resin, and it wasn't the greatest castings, and so it'll be nice to see how they improve on the models.
Yeah.
And kind of move in that new direction. So I still have a banker box full of all the old stuff that I never built. I got so much of the old stuff, but I'll support the new stuff. I just want to get the rule book first, sit down with it. I never got into Bolt Action 2nd edition. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, 3rd edition's similar with some rule modifications. So I'm looking forward to it. So very cool. Very cool. Did you take pictures at...
I didn't. I was so busy running around, and like I said, I spent most of my time on the back side of the booth. And I had run into so many friends, this conversations. I didn't take a lot of pics. And I'm very sorry about that.
That's all right.
And I thought about it as I was leaving. I went, man, I should have taken a lot more pictures, but I was just having a good time. I was just there. It was hanging out. I was going back and forth. Because I didn't even go. I mean, Nigel sold everything for me. I didn't have to go to the table.
Oh, very cool.
He just took care of it. So I got to go hang out with Dave and Brian at the painting comp. Got to have lunch and go talk to the guy that we're going to chat about some stuff for a little bit.
Okay.
And a buddy of mine, Nate, who's a trip. I love Nate to death. He's a great guy. And then met a couple retailers that I talked to, and just had a really good time. But I was constantly on the move, having a good time, and just forgot to take pics, which I regret, but I'll live with it. So.
But you had a good time, and to us, that's more important than anything else. So, isn't Dave and Jake at San Diego Comic-Con this weekend?
They're back now.
Okay.
They were in San Diego. Their show last Tuesday, this just a couple days ago, was their wrap up for San Diego Comic Con. Looks like they killed it, like they normally do.
Yeah.
They had a lot of good. They run a lot of painting stuff out there. Painting classes and stuff like that. It looked like it went really, really well.
Okay.
Check out Build Paint Play on YouTube. You can check it out. You can actually see all the pics because Dave is much better taking pics than I am. As far as just remembering to do it. And not only do you get some really good pics of what's going on in the show, but Dave is a walker. He walks a lot.
Oh, okay.
Like 5:30, 6 in the morning, and he walks like miles.
Yep.
Which I'm probably going to be starting. Yes, and that's absolutely the start of the new season, David. You're absolutely correct. It was a good show.
Very cool.
Yeah, check it out.
And for a lot of people, they may not notice, I'm not at Gen Con this weekend.
Yeah, Gen Con this weekend. It's crazy.
Yeah, Gen Con is going on in full swing right now, and I'm here in Arizona.
Yeah.
So things have changed, and that's just.
I forgot to mention that. Yeah, you're not at Gen Con.
Yeah, well, things change. Life changes. So you just kind of move with the flow. I don't know if I'm really missing out on a whole lot because I probably would have just bought a lot of stuff that I would never do anything with.
Yeah, and there's something like over 70,000 people there this year.
73. I think they posted 73,000. I've been watching the post and watching YouTube videos about it. But I would have been kind of curious because Bandai is entering into the miniature market. I don't know if you're familiar with this.
I've heard scuttling.
Yeah, so they released a card game called Bandai Ascension or something like that.
Right.
Like the big box sets are coming with multi-part miniatures that are scaled similar to GW.
Right.
And like that size, that heroic size. And they're multi-part. So I've been watching videos on this game because I'm not into card games, but they do have some miniatures. And I guess next year they're going to release a miniatures game.
That'd be cool.
Which is one of those things I've always been kind of interested. I've always said to myself, why is there not a miniatures game with the Gundam models? And there's some that are out there. There's Gamma Wolves and Armor Suits, and
there was I believe there was a short-lived Robotech game too.
Yes. Oh, don't even bring up the short-lived Robotech game. Yeah, you always want to hit me below the belt, don't you?
I didn't mean to.
But yeah, so I'm kind of interested. And it actually got me enthused to build some Gundam models.
Cool.
And I kind of discovered a little bit about, well, I discovered a lot about Gundam. But Gundam is kind of like that name. Like when we talk about tabletop war games, people immediately think, they immediately think Warhammer, they think 40K, they think that type of stuff. When you talk about RPGs, people immediately think about Dungeons and Dragons. When you talk about collectible card games, people like how some brands have become the identity of the hobby.
Right.
Well, Gundam is kind of the identity of this particular hobby. Like there's huge world, but they've got all the background and fluff. So if anybody was going to put out a game that could compete with 40K or the GW machine, Bandai is probably the one. Like
if they do it right.
If they do it right. Didn't they? Yes, they did try to make it. It was a disaster.
I'm going to quote the Star Trek the motion picture. Fortunately, it didn't live long.
It never lived. It was
not great.
It had a pulse. I have 3 starter boxes of the stuff sitting in my cabinet because I backed it on Kickstarter, and they never fulfilled the whole Kickstarter, and it was a complete failure.
I think, you know that big ocean sound they heard called the big bloop? I think that was the belly flop that Robotech made when it hit the water.
Yeah, the miniatures were cool.
Yeah.
They were really neat. I think Bandai's doing much better with the miniatures
I
because
agree.
they went a little bit bigger, where the Robotech stuff was a little bit on the smaller side for such fiddly type models,
Right.
with all the spiky bits and pieces and stuff like that.
Well,
But yeah, so anyways, I'm kind of interested in this new miniatures game. I went to see if I could try to find one of the starter boxes for the card game, because that's what came with the miniatures,
right.
just the starter boxes. I think what Bandai is doing, which is smart, added into the card game to get card players maybe used to building the models and
Right.
getting excited about the models. This way, when they release the miniatures game, the card, they kind of have like a built-in customer base,
Right.
to help bring that to the table. So I'm interested, but you know me,
I do.
I'm already gone. Why would I play with their multi-part models when I can just build real Gundam models and play with real size Gundam models and just do it right? So
I'm still waiting for the 24 scale Gaslands games.
if I had a 3D printer, buddy, we'd already be doing that. I do not have a 3D printer, so I'm not printing up parts for that.
I do have some good pictures to show about a Gaslands game.
Oh yeah. Well, so what do you want to do first? Because we have a lot of pictures.
We have a lot of pictures. Now, unfortunately, guys, I right now I'm on caffeine and other things. I've just been having some health issues, so I did not put the names on the pics.
That's okay. We will figure it out the old-fashioned.
Do you want to do the pics first? Do you want to review the item I found for you at
That's a tough one. Let's review the item first.
Okay.
And then we'll close out the show, because there's a lot of pictures. We'll close out the show with the photo gallery. How's
All
that?
right. A little background here. My buddy, Nate, who was at Historicon at a booth helping his friend. His friend is from a company called Gill's Workshop, which does a lot of laser cutting, wood laser cutting, that kind of thing. He makes gaming accessories and painting accessories. Like, he makes a really beautiful simple gaming table. He makes something that I'm probably gonna pick up for myself, is these large little cabinets. They're not really cabinets, but they're a little shelf system where you can put your projects on and kind of keep track which is what I do with commission painting, but I use an existing bookcase. I put all my commissions on a tray and I put them all on this bookcase. Well, he makes an actual item specifically for that kind of thing that comes with kind of a magnetic sheet. So if I want to, I can magnetize them all in place. That's what I'm gonna pick up for myself.
Because you magnetize all your paint handles.
Yeah.
So you can just put the paint handle on the magnetized sheet,
Absolutely.
slide it in there.
Absolutely. But they asked me to review something, and I said, I'm trying to figure out, they've changed things on me here.
Yeah. StreamYard keeps changing.
Well, let me see if hey, I guessed right. I found they asked me to review something on the show. Nate and his buddy asked me to review this because they know we do the show, and so I thought I'd review this. And I think when I saw this, I went, Mike's going to love this. That's their logo. That's the actual back of the item, and I'll pull the item out here in a minute and show you guys in real life. But that is the back. That's his logo. If you go to Discord, under the page it says "What's to Do with Mike and Jeff," which is just where we put all kind of the new stuff. There is a link to this website where you can take a look at everything they do, because it's all wood. It's all nice, heavy, sturdy wood.
I like wood.
And you can take a look at it. But this is what it is. Ta-da! This is basically a go bag or a go box. It's for you if you're traveling and you want to take your projects and your paints with you. That slides up.
So it's got that guillotine door.
Yep, got a guillotine door.
So there's no hinges or anything to flop around.
Nope. And that slides out, and then you have a tray for your tools. And then you can get this. This is for Vallejo size bottles.
Okay.
Or army painter.
Okay.
All right. And then you have your tray for your tools and whatnot. And then it comes with pluck foam in the bottom that you can custom whatever you want to put in there. All right, and
Very
then
cool.
these little trays can be adjusted. There are little individual sliding areas where you can slide them at different heights. So you can go through that and use all that for whatever you want to do.
And I like the fact that you can just go to their website, you can buy a different tray because I do, I have all the Pro Acryl, which is bigger bottles
Morning,
than
Jake.
Morning Jake, which are bigger bottles than the regular drop bottles.
Yep.
So you can have different trays for different types of paints that you're using.
You get all the kind of paints you want, and you can also get this compartmentalized if you want. There's a lot of different ways you can go with this. But I get a lot of people don't like wood. They want to have the soft bag or whatever for traveling. I don't think this is made to take on a plane.
No.
All right. But it is made if you're going to a friend's house, you're going down to a game shop, and you want something nice and sturdy to put your models in. Gil's workshop will make these for you. And like I said, they have a bunch of other stuff. So check them out. Check out their website. See what you think.
And you can put a little cutting mat at the very bottom underneath the foam. Yep. If you wanted to, so that way you can just one day take it out for just building stuff, and then another day take it out for painting stuff.
Well, I'm assuming that once I ship this to Mike, and Mike has it for a while, we will have a Gil's Workshop Mike edition of how this works.
I will modify it multiple ways. I'm already looking at it going, well, I need to drill some holes in the top to hang my paint brushes on. And
it's actually not that bad. It's not that bad, Jake. I would line the bottom of this with cork. This tray, I'd put cork in there. Yeah. But again, I said I hung out at their booth. They're a nice bunch of guys, and Nate and I are good friends. So I thought I'd talk about it here. And the other reason is I knew Mike would get a kick out of this.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's awesome.
Mike has this weird obsession with containers.
I do. I do like storage containers.
But
look at that. That looks nice.
And they will do custom engraving or laser etching here on this. If you want to put your logo, your name, a warning. This is heavy, Jake. Don't pick it up too quickly. That kind of stuff.
You could actually on the back side of the guillotine door secure a cutting mat on it.
You could.
And then you lay that on. It's got that lip so it butts up against the table so that it doesn't slide around. And you could just have a built-in cutting table.
Absolutely. But it's good. And that's all I have. But this is it in a nutshell. You can get an overall size of it.
That is awesome.
Like I said, I knew Mike would love it. I thought we'd talk about it on the show. If it's not for you, that's cool.
No, it's right up my alley.
It is wood. Well, not you. I meant the other people. Because it is wood. But you and I appreciate this.
I think it's awesome. Thank you very much. I can't wait.
I'll be shipping that your direction. But definitely check out the website. See what they think. Like I said, they also make some gaming tables. They do custom laser cutting. They did a really nice. A guy had picked up a gaming table, and they were laser etching a really nice image on the top of the table. I mean, just really good stuff. Just check them out and see what you think.
Is the storage thing the taller storage thing that you were talking about? Is it the same width as that?
Yes.
So you could get that just to store all your paint in,
right?
So you're not having to, and then you could just label them on the front, so that way when you look, it's like, okay, here's my reds and my oranges and my yellows, and just pull out that one tray when you're looking for that particular color.
And you're right, it does look like a beehive, which was my first thought when I saw it, Jake. It's kind of like a beehive. They make a lot of different stuff. Like I said, I was just hanging out there, and Gil's a great guy. So they had their laser cutter there. They were doing custom laser cutting while they were there.
Very cool.
And they had a gigantic table for gaming, but it's not the the big fancy gaming table you're going to spend $5,000 on. That's got an inlet. It's got the cup holders. This is just basically a nice wooden table designed for playing games on.
Something that if you had it in your kitchen area, you could still eat dinner on it. You could still entertain friends and family. But then when everybody's gone and you just want to hang out and play games with your buddies, it doesn't look like a gaming table in the house with just a cover over the top of it.
Right. And if you know where Historicon is at in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, you're also in the middle of Amish country, and everything is made of wood.
Yes. Well, the Amish raise barns on a regular basis.
I think I passed. I think I passed a lawnmower all made of wood. It's all wood. Everything's wood. Everything's wood. But it's just nice. It's nice and sturdy. And if you like that, like I said, I wouldn't take it on a plane. But if you're just driving to your game shop, you want to take it with you. It's nice and sturdy.
And that's
you can get in and out of. Yeah.
And that's what I see it as. That's something that it's like, all right, we're gonna go hit the game shop and we're gonna do a hobby night or something like that with a couple friends.
Right.
Just load that up and just take it with you, and you're good to go. Yeah. That way you can just put the paints in that you're using for whatever project you're working on. You have your stuff. I like the fact that they've included the pluck foam. Yep. Because then you have compartments to keep your miniatures safe while you're traveling and doing things. So very cool.
Yep. That's a nice little thing I saw at Historicon. Like I said, a buddy of mine asked me if we'd talk about it. I said, yeah, sure.
I'll have to reach out to them and see if I can get my logo put on the front cover, the front guillotine door. Just have the logo for my YouTube channel on that, and also our logo. Like have those two logos on there. Hey, I can even incorporate I could put all three of them on there.
There you go. But yeah, no, they do all of that stuff. So I mean, like I said, it's kind of a throwback because everything right now is canvas and foam and light and meant to travel easily. And I get that. But like I said, it's nice. The quality is really, really good. So yeah, check them out.
Jake just sweeps all of his paints into a bin. That's heresy.
No, I can believe that. So,
yeah, that's a lot.
I know a guy that used to basically just dump his painted models into a bucket. I mean, he literally showed up to an event at GW once and turned. You know those big 5-gallon ice cream buckets you can buy?
Yeah.
It was one of those.
Okay.
And he just walked up to the table and just dumped his models on the table. And hence, from that moment on, he was known as Bucket of Lizards.
Because they were lizards.
They were in the bucket. And then he spent 10 minutes sorting them out. From that point on, he became known as Bucket of Lizards.
But back then, weren't there a lot of metal minis? Like that would have been.
They were all metal.
That would have been. That would be terrible.
Yeah, it was just odd.
Well, maybe they thought those metal minis could last.
And they were painted.
Well, kind of, maybe chipped up and.
Yeah. Now they look. I mean, he did a great job of showing worn miniatures. Worn metal miniatures.
Oh, it's crazy. Love it. Well, it's good that you had a good time. I can't wait to get my hands on that box and take a look at it. I'm not doing that.
I don't blame you, Jake. I wouldn't do it either.
Especially with modern miniatures, because like not even like GW's, the cream of the crop, but a lot of the other like Atomic Mass and stuff was Shatterpoint and Marvel Crisis Protocol, and there's other they got a lot of little bits now. Where back in the day when models were just kind of plain, they didn't have a lot of, because the technology wasn't there.
Right.
Like maybe a spear or something like that, or a sword, but for the most part, they didn't have all the dangly bits and fine details that we see today.
Well, every once in a while, when you get to be my age, which is old, you have moments where you're kind of like, man, I'm glad I'm still around. One of them, of course, as you all know, we just talked about earlier, Fantastic Four. I was so happy that I was around to see this movie because I love the movie. Fantastic. Yeah. Boom. The other one was, did you guys watch the summer preview from GW?
I did. I missed it.
Oh my God.
What's going on?
First of all, the Chaos Dwarves look amazing. I didn't have time to get the picks for them, but even though they're already, I'll have the picks next week so we can just talk about them.
Okay.
For Age of Sigmar. Remember we started playing Age of Sigmar and I wouldn't all play my Chaos Dwarves?
And I did see that because I think when I saw it, I was sending you texts like, hey, did you see this?
Those are great. But at the end, the last things they talked about, I think there were 5 new 40K characters. A White Scar on a jet bike.
Yeah.
An Iron Warrior. I believe a Raven Guard. I think. Lysander. A new Lysander was on. Those models are amazing. what they're doing with plastic right now blows me away. Hang on a second.
Yeah.
I know a guy who has a box of Tyranid Hormigons. They're plastic, and he has a ton. He says they get killed so fast he doesn't care. They are painted and varnished, but still.
There's some truth to that.
Iron Hand. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the new character models look off the chain.
New Raven. Yeah, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And again, that's my second moment in less than a month that I go, man, I was glad, because I remember when metal models came out, we're like, oh, those are awesome, those are fantastic. And then I'm seeing these new that jet bike is just unbelievable.
Well, Uncle Adam did a video this week, and it was talking about the good old days and comparing, games back then to games today, and just having that little bit of conversation, and showed some old miniatures and kind of the comparison. And it's like the older miniatures we got excited about, but today's miniatures is like a whole different level of excitement, because I think for a lot of us that played back then, we've got to see the evolution of the hobby compared to people that are just coming into the hobby.
Right.
So I think when a lot of us talk about the good old days, I don't think we're necessarily talking about the quality of the models compared to today or the rules compared to today. I think what we talk about the good old days, we're just talking about the friends we had back then and the memories we had about the good, playing back then when we didn't have what we have today.
Yeah.
Like when you sit down and play today, you got these gorgeous tables, all this terrain that's so detailed, where before we were laying like green felt mats over a table, putting some
There were actually rules in Rogue Trader, not rules, but there are suggested Rogue Traders on how to make in the Rogue Trader book that I've been reading about lately, which I find amazing and funny, is that where you take green cloth, green felt, throw some books on a table, and then lay the felt over them.
Yeah.
Not your hill. So yeah, but and yeah, Raymond, the new Votan stuff. As a matter of fact, I had an interesting conversation with Dave at Historicon about the Votan. The Iron Jacks, which are the new kin for the Votan, because I loved all the stuff they released. I even like the Iron Jacks. Dave, however, has a differing opinion on that. He went real wild about them, which is fine. But the news, that stuff looked great. I was expecting though a Dreadnought type thing for the Votan, and I thought they would put out a jump pack unit, because they got a guy. They've got for Kill Team. You've got Votan with a jump pack.
Right.
Yeah. So I thought we'd have that. So
yeah, David's talking about he still has that terrain book. But I think that's really when people start talking about the good old days. I don't think it's necessarily that anything was better in the good old days. I just think you just have your fond memories. It's nostalgic. And we didn't have, like, could you say we're in a golden era? That's kind of what Adam was talking about. Are we in that golden era? I think technology's in that golden era where they can push these boundaries and really put out some of these amazing models. And I just think it's like they just released a new faction for Age of Sigmar. Kind of has an Asian vibe to it. I don't know the name of the faction off the top of my head.
They just released Cafe.
Cafe, that's it.
Yeah. Well, they've been around. They've been in the lore for a while. They just never really did anything with them. And
now they are. So
I think they're for Old World.
Yes. Old World, or is it Old World or Age of Sigmar?
There's Age of Sigmar, and then there's Old World. They're two separate entities. I can use, because I've got rules for Chaos Dwarfs for Old World, and I can probably use the new models. They changed the lore a tiny bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, the Great Taurus is now a construct versus just a big living bull that's angry.
A big angry bull.
But I have zero problem with that because the models are gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to have them. And
but they may not have had the
right.
Cafe's Old World.
Cafe's Old World. Yeah.
But
they've talked about Cafe forever. They've never really done anything with them. I'm really glad they did because they're gorgeous.
Yeah, but the models look so nice, and I don't think they could have pulled that off back in the day.
No.
They just would have looked very plain and generic. But now they can push those boundaries so much with producing models especially with the 3D sculpting and the computer and getting all the cuts just right, hiding seams and molds as best as they can.
Yep.
I think it's two different things. I think good old days are more just our memories and our nostalgia and the fact that we were making the best with what we had available to us at the time. Where today it's like everything's at your fingertips. You can pretty much get whatever you want.
I just watched a video last night, watching a video about them 3D printing a house.
Yeah.
The machine that uses a special kind of concrete that 3D prints a house.
Yeah.
And then they make the walls are double sided there. Then they put insulation foam in that gap, and they can it's like a quarter of the time it takes to build an actual old wooden house or a brick house.
Yeah.
But yeah, the technology and the CAD system they use for designing miniatures now. One of the reasons we got so many Primaris lieutenants is you had the Primaris construct in the system. You just keep adding stuff to it, and change the code, and do all this other stuff to it. So it's easy.
Yeah, but now they can cut, paste, modify, change.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The machining to make the molds is a lot better because they can do all those undercuts and all that other stuff.
Once you have the foundation of like say a Primaris Marine, once you have that in the system, then it's just manipulating that and adding to it what you want to add to it.
Yeah. Cool stuff. More freedom for our imagination, most doing that for us.
I do miss the easy conversion possibilities we used to have. Now models are a little harder to convert. They can still be converted. They just take a little more work, a little more effort, and a little more, skill and talent.
Which is there are people out there doing it. They're still chopping them up, making different things.
So
I think Crunch Crusades is a great example of how people are going to be chopping up models and doing stuff.
Crunch Crusades is an example of a game that you can play because you can use anything. It's all up to you, and I think that's great too.
Yeah.
Because that used to be that with 40K. I mean, I talk to people all the time that remember I'm going to take this old deodorant container.
The old land speeder deodorant model.
Yeah. So and like I said, I'm in the Wayback Machine about every night because I'll read 3 or 4 pages out of the Rogue Trader rule book, and I'm amazed, I'm giddy, and then I go, I used to know this in and out, backwards, sideways, upways, downways. Why did I ever play this game?
Yeah.
So making our own stuff.
Yeah.
Cause we don't want to pay nearly. I never made my own stuff. I didn't want to buy it. Well, that was part of it, but I kind of enjoyed just building stuff.
Well, and also GW didn't have a model for everything. Like you had to scratch build certain things in order to play your army, and it was actually encouraged as an orc player. There was the looted vehicle rules that we used to have, and we kind of made up our own stuff and neat stuff. I think it's cool, man. I'm excited to see where everything goes. That's why I'm excited to see what Conflict 47 turns out to look like. Because I want to see how they pushed, technology's changed enough to where they could start doing better quality plastic miniatures, and I'm just looking forward to it all.
In the bottom, I had a friend come over, and I had my GW case that was a gift from my staff at Games Workshop, and the very bottom 2 shelves are just full of assembled Forge World and larger plastic kits. And he's like, "Why are those all assembled? They haven't been painted yet." I said, "Because some days I don't want to paint; I just want to build."
Yeah, building is fun.
I just want to build something, and I'll throw it together. And Amos from that I work with at Battlefront, he and I ride to work there. He hates building. He hates building.
But he loves to paint.
So
Matthew's building a 2nd edition 40K army again. So
he's budget building 2nd ed 40K again. I've got my squats all ready to go. I got them primed. I'm going to do a 2,000 point squad army. It'll be fun.
Yeah, good stuff. I love it.
Yeah, I believe Jake and I talked about. There's a guy up there already just planning on running a Rogue Trader game. So I think we're gonna reach out to him or try to participate in that one.
Jump on his game.
Yeah. So, but I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be fun.
I wonder if Guerrilla Miniatures might be doing something at.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just having fun painting up old squats. So yeah, there's a new Votent coming out that I've got to pick up.
Now, are you going to paint your old squats using like old painting techniques like we used to do back in the day, or are you going to use your normal style that you do now?
I'm probably going to go. I'm probably going to go back to how I used to paint them. Just
like a retro paint job.
Just a retro paint job.
Yeah,
and that's another thing. I have every painting guide GW has made since I started in the hobby, which we all know was in 87, 88. I have all those painting guides. So that's why my stuff looks like it looks. I'm a product of GW's propaganda machine.
Gotta love it. But like even painting had like we've seen so much of a shift with the painting supplies that we could get. Like back then, all we could get were basic paints, and you had to kind of go to the art supply store and get different supplies. To now, it's like you just go off the shelf, just pick them off the shelf, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
You don't have to mix. You don't have to do. You have such a variety of different colors now. You don't even have to know how to mix colors anymore.
I used to go out into my yard, and I would grab twigs and stuff for my bases. And then at Hobbytown, I met with Amos. We're picking up some supplies, and he goes, "Aren't you going to be putting out some trees on your Space Wolf, some dead logs and stuff?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I got to go gather some up." And he walks up and he hands me this.
Yeah.
It's literally a blister pack of tree branches.
And it's there.
And I paid for them.
Hopefully they're treated with something to kill any of the...
If they're not, I have the stuff from AKI.
There you go.
If I can find it real quick so I don't distract anybody. AKI makes a thing you soak your models in so they don't, you can use natural grass, natural flowers, whatever, and it makes it so they don't wilt, they don't turn brown, they stay as they are, and they don't, don't go that bad.
Well, and bugs don't come to life inside the barks and start living in your house. So I think we're just kind of comparing ourselves to maybe our grandparents that watch technology advance so far. We're just seeing that in our hobby and just watching how far it's advanced. And we may compare time periods. Like it's one thing to, talk about back then and how, but it's more of for me, it's more of a conversation of we did the best with what we had available to us at that time, where today, now I can just go in the store and buy everything off the shelves because the hobby's advanced that much and technology advanced.
I think I realized that's where the world was going when I was in Arizona and drove past a store called the Container Store.
You mean my home away from home?
I still haven't. It's like going to Disneyland. I still haven't seen home.
I love the Container Store.
Well, here's something really interesting. I was in the mood to build something one day, and I had a problem with my monitor not being high enough on my desk. So I built this.
Because you can.
I had a bunch of old plastic lying about, and I built this so I could take it, and it fits in the corner of my desk, and the monitor would sit on top of it because I'm an idiot.
Yeah, and now it's a piece of terrain for a sci-fi game.
It's something. I don't know what it is. It's still got a sign that Carlos 3D printed for me.
Very cool.
He had a question on his website because he does laser cutting, and he says, "What would be a good sign for a futuristic game?" And at that point in time, I was listening to a lot of I can't think of the name of the group now, but they did a song called "Turtleneck and Chain." So I said "Turtleneck and Chain," and he made it. And
Jake's telling us, basically comparing us to the Get Off.
Well, we are old guys. We do have a tendency to prattle on a bit about the good old days. So I mean, the only difference because Jake himself is old.
I know he just doesn't want to admit it.
He thinks a mohawk is a fountain of youth. However, I have seen pictures of him without the mohawk, with his natural hair color, and I vote mohawk every time.
So we can get off the subject. Let's take a look at the photos that we
At
have.
the photos, again, I do apologize, everyone. I did not have a chance to. I did not take the time to go through them and put your names on them, so I apologize. But I will. There we go.
Oh man, I wonder who this is. I already know who this is.
Well, first of all, Dave, I hope you're not driving anywhere serious because you got all these games on your dashboard.
That might not.
That's the hood of his car. That's the top of his car. But yeah, Masters of the Universe, the board game. So,
I hope he put him in his car before he took off.
Yeah, possibly. So, wait a minute, hang on a second. Nothing wrong with that. A lot of us miss the good old days. I never understood why my parents said that until now. Yeah, the older I get, the smarter my dad gets. The Statler and Waldorf of the mini war game scene. I will wear that badge proudly.
I'll
now get off the stage,
on my
Frog.
forehead if I have to.
There you go. Get off the stage, Frog.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but
yeah, this is David. So he went over to so as most of us already know locally, IOG is closing its doors. Yep. And everything is 25% off. And David went and showed his love for Darren's store and picked up some stuff.
I have to say, the community reach out for Darren has been phenomenal, well deserved, and I'm glad it's happening.
Yeah,
I'm glad. I'm glad. Sorry to see the shop go, but I'm glad Darren is his store has been iconic in the valley for a long time.
I don't know if you've been followed, like. The news went out and did a story on it. The New Times, which is kind of an online publication now, which used to be kind of a newspaper publication. It's been around forever. They did a good story on it, talking about his iconic store and everything he's accomplished and some of the challenges he's seeing in the industry or in the market to running a brick and mortar store, which times have changed. And it's not as easy to run a brick and mortar anymore. So it was really, it's been a really positive outpouring of support and I'm going to say a little bit of grief. Like people are just sad to see the shop go.
I managed to secure my deluxe edition of Robo Rally.
Oh yeah.
Which is one of the best board games ever made.
Ever. So
ever made. It was awesome.
So David went out and picked up I think it was for his wife. I guess his wife's a fan of Masters of the Universe. If I understood that, I think I read.
We all use that excuse. This is for my wife.
Why do you think I got Death Guard?
I don't do this.
But that's why I picked up Death Guard. It wasn't for me. My wife wanted to play Death Guard.
I don't know who this miniature is. I've never seen this before.
Well, we know who painted it.
Don did. And it's Mace Windu. I think it's Mace. Is that his name? Mace Windu?
I think so. But
I think so. Don, you're amazing.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I take great pride in watching Don paint now because I've watched him deal with it for so long and he does such a great job.
I love what he did to the base. It looks like we got some, like, I'm going to say lightsaber strikes.
Lightsaber strikes that are hot and all molten.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
That is one thing I'm glad I'm not there for. I'm not there for, Raymond, is seeing the empty store. That'd probably make me cry.
Yes, it's not an easy thing to accept.
Cloak looks great.
Yeah, great highlights, great blending. He went out.
The window.
Oh, he went out the window.
It's a Matt dad joke.
Got it. And then look at that stormtrooper.
He's really going to lob that grenade, I'm telling you.
Yeah, he's going to shoot it. He's going to throw it, and then he's going to shoot it in midair so that it's an air explosion.
Yeah, base looks great, Don. Looks fantastic, buddy.
Yeah. Jake's saying that's Mace Windu.
Yeah, Mace Windu.
And that would be Matt's joke for those that didn't pick up.
Not the Windu.
Love it. Love that use of pink. You don't see a lot.
Power Ranger. Oh no, sorry, Stormtrooper.
Great.
I have a lot of pink in my future because I'm getting ready to start an Emperor's Children army.
Oh,
I've already started an Emperor's Children army.
Ah, look at you.
Yeah. So.
And this is all Shatterpoint, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
I believe Don is doing Shatterpoint.
I forget what IP it's based on, but I hear it's pretty popular.
Yeah, well, it's Star Wars, so.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'll see myself out. No, man.
Thanks. We appreciate that. Absolutely.
We love the dad jokes.
They are well, yeah. Oh, look, it's the kin for the Votan. Oh wait, no, those are.
You could probably use those in Voltan, and
I have to say, when I saw the Iron Jacks for the Votan, they look similar. Not close, but they triggered a memory.
Yeah, but those, like, they've got that because Voltan have a lot of rounded shapes going on with their vehicles and stuff. So you could probably get away with using those in a Voltan army.
I could not bring myself to do that, but yes, you could. So, very cool.
Just love it.
Very, very cool.
My favorites. I have that army but I have it for the other game, Star Wars game. God, what is that game called? Legion.
Legion. Yeah.
But he did a fabulous job on them.
Like I said, I've seen Don's painting and him try to get to a level he's happy with for decades actually, and he's doing very, very well.
I don't think I'll ever be happy at a level. I'll think I always will be pushing myself to be uncomfortable and trying new things.
Yeah.
Roger.
Matt's on a roll today.
Matt's just got it going. So this is what happens when you get a bunch of old guys together.
Of which you are one, Jake. Sorry.
Joe's been cranking out a bunch of stuff. He's been blowing up the Discord.
Yep.
With Train and everything he's been working on.
I like the spots on this. Looks good. Really, I really thought that was his hand was doing something else. I was like, am I going to have to blur this? And I saw this image and went, okay, all right. It was just the angle.
Angles are everything.
Oh yeah. By the way, Jake, I'm going to be calling you probably this week for I need a Land Raider Crusader and I need a box of drop pods.
A box of drop pods? I think
it's two to a box now. The new one.
Really?
Yeah. And you can't close the doors anymore. The doors are the base, and the actual drop pod fits on, so you can keep them separate for transport.
Oh, that's smart.
I've written my new list, and I need a Crusader, aka Blood Claw delivery system, and I need a drop pod or drop pods for also known as head taker delivery system.
It's the Uber Eats of the 40K world.
I'm offended by this.
Why is that?
Because that looks like me in my robe at night when I'm trying to sleep. Get ready for bed. Hair's a little different, but close. I mean, this I'm suing. Yeah, I figured. Yeah.
I would like a new box of Space Wolves.
Joe, they look really good, buddy. They look really, really good. Absolutely fantastic. But I'm a little offended by this because it reminds me of when I'm getting ready for bed.
But you would be holding a Space Wolf in your hand.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm going to go to bed now, little puppy.
If I had one of those in my hand would ignite. It'd be bad.
Looks like you and Matt think the same way when it comes to Space Wolves.
Yeah, I mean, you can put 16 people, 16 Marines into a Land Raider Crusader. So I can put a squad of 15 Blood Claws and Ragnar.
There you go.
And then just roll them across the board.
Wait till I find my camera. They're re-releasing the closed door drop pod for Heresy.
I sold 5 of those closed door drop pods at a StoreCon, and I made far too much money on them.
Well, if you guys wanna, if you wanna see old drop pods,
what are those?
This is a Epic Cast.
The Epic Cast drop pod.
Drop pod for the Orcs, and it's just like an aluminum can that somebody crushed and put a lid on. So awesome. I picked that up at one of the Gamers Garage sales.
Oh, sweet. What are
these? Orc drop pod.
Are these for Fallout, Joe? These are weird. They look weird. They look good. Grey Hunters and drop pods. Yeah. But actually, with the Space Wolf, with Grey Hunters moving 7, and there's a stratagem that lets me move max 6 on advanced rolls, that gives them a 13-inch move. I can get them where I need to get them on foot. That's where my Greyhounders are going.
As long as you can save don't get shot out of the air in the drop pod.
That's true. I don't know how drop pods work. I've never used them.
Yeah. Joe's saying these are just generic. They're not, it wasn't, generic. They were just.
He's wanting to play some Gaslands.
Yeah, look at that. He's even got eyeballs for the KC lights. Yeah. Love it.
How quaint.
Little forge, little setup, little scenic stuff going on. Currently have 8 standard drop pods, 2 Deathwing, and a Dreadnought drop pod. So I think I'm good. All right.
Dave is good to go.
Yeah, he's got plenty of drop pods. Very cool.
Don't have too many.
Lots of scatter terrain. And
really good stuff. It looks really good though. It's like really good stuff. Good scatter terrain.
Scatter terrain makes the table look just a little bit better.
Yeah.
A little bit more lived in. A little well. Got to get some water. Little market piece. Joe, is this all the laser dragon stuff or is it dragon laser dragon? What is it? Dragons and laser stuff, or is this something else? Because it actually looks really good. Tell a story. Yeah.
Very good, absolutely.
Very cool.
Nice. Really good.
Building the walls and gates.
These are the things I think Tim's working on.
Yep. Tim's doing terrain crate.
Terrain crate is what I put.
Yeah, just the W at the end kind of threw me.
I think you fat figured it. The E is right next to the W key. I know I fat figure things all the
time. Tim's working on some just a little bit of everything.
Yep.
Some work in progress. Dude's got a big pole.
Yippee.
Some Vikings for pillage.
There they are. They're done.
Voila.
The flagpole.
Yeah. Pillage is so I picked up the rules for pillage. I haven't read them yet, but it's a Lord of the Rings Viking-esque game.
Cool.
So they took a lot of the mechanics from Lord of the Rings and put it into a Viking vibe or Viking themed game. It looks really cool because I like Lord of the Rings. I think Lord of the Rings is one of GW's better mechanic, for rule systems, a better system for skirmish gaming, for that not rank and flank type stuff, and
right
for fantasy. Yeah.
Right.
And I already have a couple Viking armies painted when we used to play Saga all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff.
Were they playing Saga over at Historicon, do you know?
There were some Saga games going on, absolutely.
Very cool.
Absolutely.
Got the leader. Pirates.
I played a great game with my daughter and son-in-law on the morning of my birthday called Plunder.
Oh, yeah.
Great game. I've never played it before. But my son-in-law was holding my new grandbaby, Evangeline.
Uh-huh.
And she'd fallen asleep in his arms when we're playing. Which was fine. But part of the rules of the game, when you get a treasure card, you have to read it in a pirate voice.
Yeah.
So we're trying to read in a pirate voice while whispering. And I thought, I'm surprised you didn't wake Evangeline up, because we were laughing, trying to quietly laugh so hard. Tears rolling down my face as we were trying to whisper in a pirate voice, which is a completely different skill set.
Completely
different skill set.
Something about pirate voice just makes you louder. If you ever gone to Ren fairs or anything like that, and the people dressed up like pirates, you hear them across the park.
And I got to use my favorite dad joke.
What's that?
I would go, do you know how much this earring cost me, matey? I got him pierced for a buccaneer.
Buccaneer.
There's my dad joke. So.
All right. Everyone's get their dad jokes out.
Oh, look at this.
Yes. So Tim and I celebrated. I love that dice. There was some. So Tim and I played our last game of Gaslands at IOG, and this is some photos of that. And that big old acrylic dice that I use for the different gear phases. There was this kid, little kid with his parents. He was he was walking around the store with a box of Warhammer, and the parents got to start him young, typical stuff. He was fascinated by that dice.
Right.
So I picked it up and said, you can roll it, but roll it on the ground because it's solid acrylic. That thing
Right.
is massive too. It's like 4 inches wide.
Yeah,
And he was just on the ground throwing it and rolling it and just having a good time.
that's awesome.
It was just like, again, another good memory to keep.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, we had a big game of Gaslands. Pulled out
Very
some of
cool.
my older cars. The El Camino's mine. All the dark colored cars are mine.
Right.
And that's my
This
first.
this reminds me of Sweet Tooth from Twisted
Twisted
Metal.
Metal.
Yeah.
Or yeah, and they got that season 2's up.
Start on Thursday. I've already watched first 3 episodes. I love it.
I've watched the first 2 episodes, so
I love it. It's
I'll
great.
be binge watching that later today. But yeah, so they got some photos of just us playing our last game of Gaslands at IO. Had a good time. I lost, but Gasland's one of those games, even when you lose, you feel like you won because you got to do some carnage on the road.
Yep.
Here's my big, massive truck there in the back, that green truck.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah. Had a good time.
Remember when you started Gaslands, you and I had What's New with Mike and Jeff on Saturday. I was doing Wolf's Den on Wednesday, and we had
Jackal Garage on Monday.
Garage on Monday nights.
Yeah, we were doing 3 streams a week.
Oh, it was rough.
It was rough. It didn't last very long because we were burning ourselves out.
Yeah, we burned ourselves out. It was crazy. Yeah. Being old man online is time consuming and exhausting.
It is. It is. All right, Matt. Next time we're playing Gaslands, I will give you a holler and we will get you in on it. We'll have everything you need. You don't need to have a car unless you have a car.
Yep.
And if you need Hot Wheels, just let me know. Don't buy any.
Yeah. Mike, Hot Wheels had a dip in their stock because Mike started playing Gaslands.
Yeah. Raymond actually showed up. So Raymond was at the shop when I was there, when we were playing. He just walked by me and ignored me completely.
He's all stoic. Whenever I mean, he's very, very, very active in the chat, very active in our IMs back and forth. But when I see him in person, he's just really always very stoic. So,
to be honest, though, he only saw my back and he probably hasn't seen me in a long time. So he walked past. I was like, hey. So it was good to see Raymond. Dude, believe it or not, I saw a lot of people I haven't seen in a long time at the shop when we were playing. It was really hard because I was pressed for time. So I didn't get a chance to really talk to anybody for long periods of time, but everybody was coming out of the woodworks and coming down to the shop. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. Good morning, Rex. But yeah, so there's I love that chop job that I did on that. That's
I remember you were working on that.
Yeah, so I chopped the back. That truck, the cab of that truck is something called a toilet car. It's stupid. It's got like a toilet on the back of it. Hey, Victor, what's up, brother? So I chopped it all up and I've chopped the bed off another vehicle, slapped it all together and added some of the bits and pieces I have from the North Star miniatures.
Right.
Rusty, crusty, love it.
Awesome. Good stuff.
And there's cars blown up.
Blown up cars.
Happens a lot in Gaslands. Yeah, there's my truck getting blown up. So, and that yellow one is the Erikenstein, which is one of the most popular cars in Gaslands because it's already kind of Gasland-esque out of the package.
It already fits the genre without any modifications.
You don't have to do a lot to it. And there's my big old dually truck.
I love dualies.
Yeah. Well, what is that? A 6 by? What'd you call it? Because it's not dually like you normally see on the road.
Yep.
It's 6 by. It's a hauling truck.
Good stuff.
Love it. Got that gun on a turret, 360 shooting.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Thank you. It was fun. It was great. Good time.
Good stuff. Boom.
Boom. Still working on my More Time army. These are my Sisters of the Sword.
Yeah.
Which for More Time, there's I'm doing the mercenary faction. There's I think they call them sword masters or something like that. I did all female characters for my sword masters, and I am really just loving pushing my painting and my flesh tone and just having a good time.
My cat's upset because I locked him in the room with me today, and he's meowing, he's purring at me, meowing at me, and trying to get me to open the door. And he's gonna have to flip.
Yeah, I think Mattel kind of pushed a little bit with the rusty crusty cars for specifically for Gaslands. I wouldn't be surprised.
Right.
Because they did some really cool stuff.
Woo!
So I got 5 of them. So you only can have 5 of the sword masters.
Right.
And so I did 5 female characters for them. So good time.
Good. Looking
Thank
good.
you. I'm wrapping up. I should be done with this. The core. I think you're only allowed 15 miniatures in the unit or the army when you're playing.
Right.
So I'm wrapping up the two-handed weapon guys. I'm saving Conan. So these are the dark something line. I forget.
Right. Hang on a minute. Keep talking.
They have a Conan-esque miniature, which, if you look at it's Conan. Like, he's got the bangs, he's got the look. Well, I'm saving this one for very last because I am really looking forward to doing this model up to the best I possibly can, and I'm looking forward to it.
Looks nice.
So, thank you.
Good stuff.
Oh yeah. Getting my wet blending down, just working on techniques, really pushing it.
I think I've talked about this before on the show.
Oh yeah.
But I just want to show these because this is exciting. It's already sold. It's sold out within 2 hours of going on sale.
Okay.
This is Sons of Fenris and Wolf's Honor of mine and Harry's books. This one was by Bill King, who is one of my favorite authors for Black Library. He wrote.
It's got a nice flip cover too, right?
It's a flip cover, cloth cover hardback books with a flip cover. They did actually send me a author's copy.
Okay.
So I actually have this. I don't know if I showed these or not. If I have, I apologize.
I think you were showing them on Facebook.
I showed them on my Facebook page. Harry and I wrote this back in 2007. So it's just really cool that it's still going along.
And is this like an anniversary edition, or are they just going back and redoing?
I'm not sure why they did it. They did both set. They did the first 3 from Bill King, because Bill King wrote 4 books in the Ragnar saga.
Okay.
Then Harry and I picked up because he left working for Black Library and was writing for a different publisher. So Harry and I managed to come in, and they actually gave us the honor of writing the last 2. And we did Sons of Fenris first, and then Wolf's Honor. And they re-released these in a slipcover. They've been selling in a decent format. About a year ago, they put them out on audio format.
Okay.
And we're available either from GW or I bought mine on Audible.
Okay.
And then they announced this, and lo and behold, Harry and I both received our author's copies. The Wednesday before it went on pre-sale. They sold out that Saturday in less than 2 hours. Gotta
love that. Raymond's going to send, he got a copy of them. He's going to send them to you to have them signed. Yeah. So these are really, really nice. I almost bought the first set just so I could have both of them, but right now I didn't make the pre-order, so I couldn't get them, and they're going online right now. The first 3 are going online right now for like $295 a pop. Kind of crazy. Yeah. And then I went and saw this. Ta-da! Loved it. And then the next day, which was the day before my birthday, my daughter and son-in-law, whom I love to death, went and saw with me. Had a great time. It was a great weekend. Everything was fantastic. Fantastic for the Fantastic Four. Love it. Love it. And that is it. All right. Well, that was our picture show. That was our picture show. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, so that was awesome. I was like I said, Fantastic Four was great. I loved it. Hanging out, going to see it with my daughter loved it as well, which is always a plus. Tim liked it too. Yeah, my books. Matter of fact, a character that we put in the books that I actually fought for to keep in Wolf's Honor has appeared in 3 or 4 other authors' books. Mm.
The character, the name, and the role. Member of the 13th grade company. Within our was the first appeared in our books, and I just love that.
You mentioned writing for Black Library, like they're real particular about how you portray your story so that you're
Sure.
not messing up the timeline or the lore.
Well, it's really weird. I got into I wrote a section in our book where the Space Wolves are getting ready to board a Thunderhawk or a drop pod. I hadn't decided yet, but I wrote when I wrote the chapter, I was using a drop pod.
Okay.
And the editor came back and said, "Why don't they just teleport down?" And at that point in time, it was very, very common knowledge that Space Wolves did not trust teleportation technology because you're going technically when you teleport, you are passing through a bit of a warp.
Okay.
And they just didn't trust it. Malthacorum, we're not doing it. And I got into and then what made it more difficult was my editor's name was Lindsay Priestley. Yes.
Kind of hard to have that argument.
And it wasn't a heated argument. The debate was going back and forth, but finally she got the people that handle the lore correct. And he went, no, he's right. They don't like teleportation. Without that, they do have a group there that can actually they don't do a great job sometimes of keeping the lore as solid as you'd like to see. They've gotten much better because, like I said, this was 17 years ago, 18 years ago.
Right.
They have gotten much better at it, more solid. And like I said, Harry and I were given the privilege of doing those 2 books, and they've been selling for, like I said, the last 18 years.
Gotta love it.
It's been really cool. So
that's like a legacy for yourself outside of your children, grandchildren, and all that. But
this special edition set was designed and only released via direct, which they did pre-sale on Saturday. Sold out in less than 2 hours because I was checking on it. And now it's only available in Warhammer World in the UK and the Warhammer Cafe in Texas. That's the only place it's available.
Rex says they started a YouTube series called Old Guys, New Guitars, Having Fun with 5 episodes out so far.
Check it out.
Very cool. I'll have to check that out.
Absolutely.
Old Guys, New Guitars. I love it.
Yeah, that's right.
Right up my alley. Been playing every day, just keeping my fingers moving.
Well, one of the things about being old is you have weeks like we just had. We lost a ton of people.
Oh gosh, I don't even.
Celebrities.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm kind of surprised Ozzy lasted as long as he has. Like, Ozzy abused his body quite a bit.
Yep.
But it was sad. It's almost like he knew it was going to happen because that's why they did that final farewell tour.
I'm just glad that they did that. I thought it was very
good. I think it was a very honorable way. But him and Lemmy both went out doing what they love, man. Lemmy was on the road pretty much till he died. But yes,
that's awesome.
That Hulk Hogan. I forget the gentleman's name. He played on Theodore.
Malcolm Jamal Warner.
That's it. He passed away.
Got caught in a riptide?
Yeah, his was just a tragic accident. It wasn't
crazy. No weirdness about it. Just the fact that he got caught in a riptide. And I believe it was a riptide. He got caught in current within
something like that. I don't know all the particulars. But
on vacation. I believe his daughter was with him.
Oh, that's gotta suck.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know all the details, but it's just been just bam, 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 bam.
But it is a reality because there's so much pop culture that came up when we were growing up, and now it's.
Yep, Connie Francis and Chuck. Absolutely. Well, it's like you and I talked about before the show. It hit me really hard because of what's going on with me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just been a lot. I mean, right now there's just a lot going on.
Yeah, well, it's sign of the times. Chuck Mangione.
Yep.
Yeah, that was sad. So, anyways, I don't want to add on that note. So
no, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
But our time is up, so we are going to cut out. I am going to continue working on a Gundam model project, and I've come my passion or my interest in Gundam kind of crosses so many different things because I can do Gundam models like a model car with really high gloss finishes and do really detail, or I can do them like a military tank. So you get so many different options on how you want it. You don't have to leave them the colors they are. I don't watch the Gundam series. I don't really care. I'm just pushing my painting abilities.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm having fun with it.
That's something I want to talk about. I feel not that anybody out there is a fan of my work. That's not what I'm saying. I just feel like I let everybody down because you guys every week put stuff on the show. You guys do and I haven't picked up a paintbrush and finished a project in a while. I mean, I pick up paintbrush, but I'm not getting projects finished. There's just a lot going on in my life right now.
Right.
And I won't say I'm not in the mood to paint because that would cause Dave to have some kind of reaction. And he'll quote, I think, Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
mood is for cattle and love play. Blah blah blah. I forget where that comes from, but I need to get back to painting because I need the escape. I need. There's two things in life that bring me relaxation and, quite frankly, joy. One of them is painting. The other is my motorcycle.
Right.
And I've done neither. I mean, in the last month and a half. Not on any. I mean, I've worked on projects, but not to the level that I'm getting projects completed just because I've got a lot going on. And I am working very diligently on correcting that. So hopefully we'll see some stuff from you. Especially, I've got so many great wolves I want to get finished.
Raymond's commented about the Gundam having a game. Yeah, that's what kind of took me down this rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I
know you guys are surprised, and I'm sorry, Mike went down a rabbit hole. That doesn't happen often.
No, it happens like once a week. But yeah, I was so deep down it just started with, well, what's this card game? And next 5 hours later, I was watching custom build paint jobs for Gundam models. And here I am, like, just painting up my miniatures, watching these videos. And it was fun, though, because Gundam has this whole other language, and their hobby is a lot like our hobby. There's people that just build them and put them on the shelf for display. There's people that paint them. There's people that customize. It's
it's huge.
It's massive.
It's huge.
It's just, and I'm not an anime person. Like, but if you step back and you just look at, there's a little bit of like Lego building hobby in it. Like, it checks so many of the boxes of what I like.
I just wish the kits were better quality.
Some of them, I knew that was day 3 of Gen Con timeout thing. Thank you, Victor.
We appreciate that, Victor. The Gen Con's going pretty good, so
yeah, want to hear it. Gen Con's always good.
I gotta tell you though, I am not missing it. Gen Con's always it's a week.
Yeah,
it's a week.
Well, for me, it was a lot more than a week.
Oh yeah. You get to drive and travel and everything else.
Yeah, because we had to drive out there, set up that massive booth, and then after Gen Con, break down that massive booth, and then drive back. So it's like a 2-week endeavor to do that.
Yeah,
but
I was just disappointed because you were at one point in time possibly going to go to Essen.
Yeah, I was. That's awesome.
That would have been an experience.
Yeah, I got my passport. I told the story about getting my passport.
Yep.
And yeah, that's life changes, man. And I'm just like, just along for the ride. I just find something else to do and keep me occupied. And now Las Vegas Open's moved to a new space.
Venue. Yeah.
They're at the Las Vegas Convention Center now. So that's actually kind of good news.
Yeah.
There's no hotels directly linked to the convention center. You'd have to travel a little bit, but they secured a very large venue, and it's not in a shady part of Vegas's strip. So there might be some possibility of going back to Las Vegas Open and checking things out. So we'll see.
I still want to. I'm not planning because right now I'm not planning anything, but I want to. With Darren closing up shop, moving back to Montana, it's kind of changes the dynamic for me coming out to visit like I used to. But I still want to come out sometime. Hopefully, I can work something out for next spring.
Yeah.
The biggest hurdle I got to figure out is what made it easy was I stayed at Darren's.
Right.
But we'll figure something out. I'd like to come out and run another Grumble Bowl.
Grumbable.
Something like that.
Grumbable. What's David talking about? Resetting the office to accommodate a possible co-stream with a friend, trying to set up project, be able to work with them. Regular painting and building has been non-existent for the last 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you set that live that co-stream up with your friend, let us know.
Yeah, or if you just want to come hang out with us one day, if you
Yeah,
test out your equipment and test out your stuff.
We're a tiny show, and we're two old guys in a balcony talking, looking at socks, hand puppets.
And I don't know David, so I don't know if he's part of the old guy crew or not. But
yeah, he's been around for a while.
All right,
right, not as long as me. Not many people have been.
But. All right, everybody, we're going to cut out. We'll be back next Saturday.
Oh wait, I will not be back next Saturday.
Hey, we're going to cut out. We won't be back next Saturday.
We'll be back on the 16th.
Okay.
Because I have a trip to make Saturday next week. That came up unexpectedly. I'm glad you brought that up because I completely spaced it.
Okay.
So we won't be here next week. We'll be here the week after. I'll be the 16th. Sorry about
that. David said he wanted to be a third old guy.
Why not?
Hey, Mark's gonna come. Hey, Mark's one of the old guys. He hasn't been commenting. I wonder if he didn't get his coffee brewed.
He probably had something come up. So,
Joe,
but he will be back with us after he's going to be at a show next week, another model show next week. He's going to take a lot of pictures, and he will be joining us probably not the week after, but 2 weeks after he gets back. We'll have him on to do what we did last time because I thought that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. Joe's saying you can always stay with him if you don't mind sharing the couch with the dog. All right, bye guys. Have a great few weeks. Yes. Yeah. All right, everybody. We're gonna go ahead and cut out of here, and we'll be back in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
So mark your calendars for 2 weeks, and I'm sure we'll have plenty of pictures to go over at that point because I will wrap up a bunch of stuff on my desk for sure. And we're out. So talk to y'all later. Yeah.